Okay, well, I'll hope that you'll enjoy this, because we're going to be bouncing back and forward between these two tables. In fact, it was a pretty hard pick to see which one we were going to go with live this afternoon, John, wasn't it?
Oh, two fantastic matches, but what a break from O'Sullivan that was. It's interesting, he spoke to John Virgo, I think, the other day, saying the tip on his cue is absolutely fantastic. Les Dodd, who we all know as a snooker professional, came up, put a new tip on his cue. He's absolutely delighted with it, and you can tell from the way he's gone around there, some of the touch shots in that break were superb.
Okay, back we go then.
A very classy break indeed from O'Sullivan. Up to 43 centuries now. That was that tip. Well, it looks like all the others to me from there, but I must admit, but if Ronnie's pleased with it, that says a lot, because I do remember that championship where, of course, he lost in the semi-finals, and, well, he was changing everybody's tip, I think he used at some point.
I forget the number. I remember him biting the tip off as he left the arena. He just couldn't get settled with the tip, but different days.
Well, he's saying about the amount of centuries. 42 became 43 there. It was a dead heat almost, Dennis, from table to table, with Judd Trump making one. So, you know, it's been a real standard has improved, I guess, even if that's possible. And that is a marvellous shot again. Ronnie with all the shots in the book. A classy century and a brilliant safety shot.
He doesn't want to slip around this, and I think he's going to leave it. That's careless from Mark Williams. He might have to go back and sit in his seat for, well, who knows how long. The way Ronnie O'Sullivan played in the opening frame, he could be sat there for a while.
One.
Mind you, even if he does clear the table, you're not sitting in your seat that long. Look at the average shot time, 17 seconds. Mark Williams is only at 19.
Eight. Nine.
The pot success has gone up from 94%. Usually you'd think that it can only go down from there. But it's better today even. %91 tournament, but since then he's got this new tip on that he's
60.
pleased with, and it means something to most players, but Ronnie isn't very often happy with everything about the conditions and about his own game. Saying that about the conditions, he very rarely complains about tables, actually. It's not really his thing. But if he's happy, then everyone's in trouble.
Yeah, people might think, well, a box of tips, they're all the same, but you could have a box of tips and you'd be very lucky to get maybe 10 really good ones.
$23.
Yeah, and of course, if you remember the year that he changed his tip all those times, when eventually he got beat in the semi-finals, he gave his cue away and case to somebody in the audience. Only Ronnie O'Sullivan would do something like that.
Well, I think there's very few players would come to the World Championship and even think about changing a tip. They usually prepare the weeks beforehand to have one just right, but he's such a natural player, it doesn't matter. He just picks the cue up with a new tip on and gets on with it.
$29.
He's 400 points more than Mark Williams at the moment. Now, is there a 3-ball plant? Well, look at that. For a moment, Ronnie thought there was no position available.
Well, it still had to be got. He still had to get the first red on full onto the second. But he is hitting the ball like a dream this afternoon. I should think Mark Williams is a little bit worried.
36.
As great a player as he is, he knows when O'Sullivan is at his best. He's tough to hold.
7.
And doesn't help that his record in recent years is not good. It's over a decade since he's beaten him.
$44. 45. 52.
Well, the first frame lasted just over 10 minutes. That magnificent 107 break, and all Mark's done wrong. He was in a tough snooker and slipped round the back of the red. Now that has gone slightly wrong.
60.
Can still pop this in the middle pocket, but I don't know if he can avoid canning into the edge of the reds there. He's looking at the other one to cut it back in because he's 64 in front. He's taking the slightly more difficult pot. I don't think there is any difficult pots at the moment for Ronnie O'Sullivan. What a start. And in a matter of under 20 minutes, he's going to take the first 2 frames here this afternoon.
Just needs one more red, but you don't see him missing what we're watching today.
69.
Well, I'm not a betting man, Neil. I know you like your odds and that, but Betfred were offering 6 to 1 against 5 centuries been made this afternoon. We've already had 2. Oh, that might have spoiled the second one.
74.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a century now. As far as the frame is concerned, I don't see Mark Williams continuing, because it's not really his thing to carry on.
74.
Well, there you are. There's a shot. 78 in it with 67 on. Mark Williams wants 3 snookers, but he does continue. It looks very much like 7-3.
Yes, I don't blame Mark for trying to get some sort of rhythm going.
Yeah, I guess that's what it would be, because Mark is anything more than 1 snooker. He's usually happy to sit in his chair and start the next frame. Of course, he's not out of the match, no way, but he will need to get something happening quite soon.
Nine.
Be interesting to see if he just clears up here. I think where the balls are situated, he might try for the snookers, because the brown's in a good position near the green, and he'll leave a red near the pink. Well, it doesn't matter which of those reds he leaves, they'll be in a good
60.
snookering position. I think he's missed this one.
Yeah, well, he concedes immediately.
60,
Well, yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's happy to accept his concession, and Ronnie looks tremendous this afternoon. He's now leading Mark Williams.